Welcome back to the 41st episode of the BatChums podcast. I'm Drew Leiter, and joining me tonight is my co-host, the man, the myth, the new legend, Mike Gordon.
Howdy. And dare say, we're recording this a little like later or what earlier for these people who watch it, but this is the first one of the new year.
Yes, we're finally into 2025.
We are.
So I'm excited about this year because James Gunn's new universe is going to be kicking off this year.
We've already got a little sampling of it with Creature Commandos, which as we're recording this just wrapped up today. But the new trailer for the Superman movie's out, and but one of the things that was kind of cool about the have you watched Creature Commandos?
Not yet. We're going to
Okay.
be reviewing it, but we're reviewing on Earth Station DCU. But we just started Superman and Lois, the final season of that. So,
Gotcha. There
so
is
we're
a
going to do that. We're going to do that first, and then we'll probably get into Creature Commandos. Well, we might do. We haven't done Crisis on Infinite Earths yet, so we're going to probably do that first.
there's so
the
much. There's still
I
so
know.
much.
I thought we were going to be lacking in material for Earth Station DCU, but we really haven't been. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, well, it's just like us. I mean, people ask us, and people have actually asked us like if we're gonna go ahead and do stuff after Batman 60 series, and I'm like, look, this is gonna keep us busy for a while, and after that, there's no end to Batman material. So, but I will give it's a little tiny spoiler, but it's not a huge one. But Creature Commandos, there is a brief cameo by a certain bat themed hero. So
Yeah, the internet already spoiled that, so I've come across it already.
so we've kind of already seen, what a glimpse of James Gunn's universe's Batman is like. Maybe. I don't know. I don't, we'll see. But in any case, things are exciting. Things are exciting. Exciting stuff's going to happen. It's going to be an exciting year, but I'm excited to cover season two of Batman 66 because it's been so much fun covering season one. And yeah, when we'll get into it, yeah, there's still some fun stuff happening, even though we're just starting with season two now.
All right, so this is Batman 66, season 2, episode 6, Barbecued Batman.
Yeah, the
Episode
can we just put a pin like why doesn't this rhyme? Like this is the first title that we've had for a conclusion episode that doesn't rhyme with the first episode title, like the previous episode's title. And I don't know if they're just having fun because it's the minstrel. Like, if anything, it should be like it should rhyme because it's a minstrel.
yeah.
But I don't know why it doesn't. We go from the minstrel shakedown to barbecue Batman, and I'm like, that what? Like that? I don't know. I kind of that kind of threw me off. I didn't, and they don't mention Robin at all, so that's kind of weird too. But yeah, I don't know what it is about rhyming. Like the rhyming titles were just a cool thing. So I hope that still continues after this, but we'll see.
The episode aired Thursday, September 22nd, 1966, directed by Murray Golden and written by Francis M. Cockrell and Marion B. Cockrell. So Batman and Robin are tied to a spittle. They are rotated over a heat source. Grabbing his guitar, the minstrel sings them a song.
Sings him a lullaby.
Batman and Robin rotate and revolve. As the heat mounts, you will lose all resolve. In a few minutes, we will be prepared to leave you here cooking and exit this lair.
That's so much like less graphic than the previous episode when he sang them out at the end of the episode. he was like, your bodies will dissolve. And it's like, oh, this is like, oh, that's gross. Like for a guy who claims to be not violent, that's some pretty gross imagery that he comes up with there. And he seems to be pretty gleeful about them being barbecued.
Yes, he does. All right, so I came up with my own rhyme. So here we go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Batman and Robin are in another jam. How will they escape? Does Batman have a plan? Just when you think their goose is cooked, out comes Magic Batman, and our heroes break loose. So it is
Very nice.
Magic Batman time.
Magic Batman. All right, Magic Batman in 2025, man.
All right, Magic Batman, this is your first time in 2025. Will Batman and Robin be barbecued? And Magic Batman says, on patrol, try later.
Apparently, we've disturbed him.
All right, let me try it one more time. Will Batman and Robin be barbecued?
I mean, I don't want to disturb him. Like, if he's like doing stuff, like Magic Batman's got what Magic Batman has to do, man. He's got to do what he's got to do. So,
All right, this time Magic Batman says, tragically, no. So they're not going to be barbecued.
but it is a tragedy. Uh, it's good to have you back, Magic Batman.
Suddenly, several bombs go off in the hallway. The minstrel, his two henchmen, and Octavia go to investigate. With the minstrel distracted, Batman and Robin shake the spittle loose, and free themselves. They
This
quickly hide and await the minstrel's return.
this might be like the like a most amazing example of Batman being 10 steps ahead that we've ever seen on this show.
Yes.
I'm gonna put
Well,
because we saw them put down the explosives in the first part, but I thought that was just to get the door open.
yeah. So I wasn't expecting it here either. I mean, that we actually see them plan ahead for something.
Yeah, I it's so bizarre, but I guess I gotta hand it to him. I mean, he had everything. At least it wasn't like a freak occurrence that they got out of it. It was Batman just planning way ahead.
When the minstrel returns, Batman and Robin take out the two henchmen. The minstrel disappears, leaving Octavia there alone. Octavia surrenders, but Batman lets her go. When Robin questions why Batman let her go, Batman replies that he slipped a tracking device in her purse.
That
Back at
cad, he acted all like all sweet and nice to Octavia, and he just played her. He just played
Yep.
her.
Back at police headquarters, Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara get into an argument. Commissioner Gordon is about to fire Chief O'Hara when the bat phone rings.
I
It
think
is
this is
Bat.
the first time we've seen them. I mean, this was really weird. Like
It was weird.
O'Hara's just questioning, like, well, do we really know much about him and all this sort of thing? And Gordon's like, what are you talking about? And yeah, he was about to fire him. And I was just like, what is happening? Like, that was crazy. That was
That,
absolutely crazy.
that was there. Yeah, I have to agree with you. We've never seen that before.
No.
The bat phone rings. It is Batman reporting in. He has nothing to report, but tells Commissioner Gordon they will not rest until the minstrel is behind bars. When Commissioner Gordon gets off the phone, Chief O'Hara apologizes. Octavia returns to the minstrel studio. The minstrel is suspicious that Batman did not arrest her. He flips on the device and discovers a bug in Octavia's purse. And she's not happy about it either.
No. Well, no. I mean, I like how the minstrel like knew though. He's like, yeah, Batman played you. Like he's not a nice guy. He's just using you to get to me. And he's right.
The minstrel tells Batman that he is going to, yeah, the minstrel tells Batman that he is going to plan High C. Holy cosmos! The minstrel men are worried that Plan High C can bring about the end of the world.
This is this is pretty like big stuff. And we don't this is the first time we've really got a threat that's on this level. And we think it's hyperbole, like, oh, they keep mentioning the end of the world, the end of the world. He even tells Alfred, like, we're off to save the end of the world, we're off to save the world. And it's like, really? They've captured villains before and gone after people, but I don't think they've ever had a world-threatening event level villain before. And it turns out, as we'll find out later, that the minstrel can back it up.
The minstrel tells Batman to join his friends in the conference room of the stock exchange in exactly 30 minutes and don't be late. He is to have Commissioner Gordon, Chief O'Hara, and Mr. Cortland there too. In the Batcave, Batman and Robin have been listening to the minstrel using the directional beam. Alfred informs Batman that Mrs. Cooper was concerned that they were gone all last night. Alfred wants to know when they will return. Robin states they have to prevent the end of the world first.
Which Alfred, I love. Alfred sells that so well. As this, they dart off, and he's just standing there going, "The end of the world." Like
I
he's
know.
just,
If I remember right, his mouth was gaping open.
yeah, he was just like, because even he was shocked. He's like, "What? Like this is, yeah." Usually it's just like, we're gonna go get the bad guys before they rob a bank or something. This is not end of the world stuff. So it's pretty serious.
The stock exchange conference room, Batman, Robin, Commissioner Gordon, Chief O'Hara, and the other businessmen experience what they at first think is an earthquake. When Batman looks out the window, he determines it's not an earthquake, but the minstrel. Batman explains that the minstrel determined the exact frequency of the building. Using the ventilation shafts as resonant chambers, he generated a corresponding frequency. Robin adds that it is just like when a singer can shatter a glass by hitting its resonating note. Batman states that is called sympathetic vibration. We learned something today, kids.
It's educational. It's not just entertaining, it's educational.
The minstrel comes on the television singing another song. I don't remember the tune to this, but I am the minstrel and a mastermind. I'm a modern genius crook. In electronics, I cannot be surpassed. And that is why your building shook. To my terms, you must agree, or vibration, consternation, desolation throughout the nation. Accept my terms, or there will be irreversible calamity. You have until nightfall to prevent a frightful downfall. Man, who writes this stuff?
Well, you mentioned who wrote it at the beginning.
That is true. It wasn't easy. I kept having to, you know, go back so I could get all the words down. All right. The minstrel's terms. The certified checks that were instructed yesterday will be turned over to Commissioner Gordon. Commissioner Gordon will deliver them to the minstrel's henchman when he requests it. And number 3, an announcement to their agreement to this deal will be made on this channel at 6 p.m. sharp, or the stock exchange becomes a pile of rubble. Holy kilowatts! Batman suggests that they cut off the power. Without it, the minstrel will be unable to run his machine. Just before 6 p.m., the minstrel comes to the stock exchange conference room disguised as a businessman. Batman has the switches thrown and the power to the building is shut off. Now, I wanted to ask you, did you realize that was the minstrel in disguise? Did you recognize him right away? Yeah, I did too. Okay.
I mean, it's pretty obvious, especially since as soon as he enters, they play his music. They play the minstrel's music theme,
Did they?
which I
I didn't
I
even
give
notice because I was too busy trying to get my
I
notes
give them
down.
credit. I give who did the music, Neil, right, for this? I give them credit because the minstrel gets a theme. Like some villains don't get a theme. But the minstrel does get a theme. And I thought, which is appropriate because he's the minstrel. But yeah, they play the minstrel's theme when he enters the room.
Suddenly, the power comes back on. Batman states he cannot turn it off because the minstrel is broadcasting power. When he said that, I'm like, okay, how? That was my first question. How do you broadcast power? When my electricity goes out, I wish somebody would broadcast power here.
Well, if you had, a minstrel on hand, then that would be worked out for you.
The minstrel comes back on television to sing another song. Do I have your attention? Batman, your world will tumble down. Just wait and see. Your city will disintegrate. It matters not to me. Batman and Robin's strength will not avail. No matter what they do, they are bound to fail. They cannot evade my sonic beam, and they will become a vapor trail, which should be evident to the most obtuse now, I think. However, there is still time to change your mind. Do not delay. What happened to the rhyming there?
I know. Yeah, that song just dissolved quickly.
Yes, it did. Batman realizes the minstrel is among them. Batman pulls off his glasses, revealing the minstrel. The minstrel calls for his henchmen, and a fight ensues.
I love,
I
I
think
love
that's
the other
funny. He just
reaction. I love the reaction to everybody. Like, how with that fine gentleman who we've never seen before? Why would you think that he would be the minstrel? The guy who kind of looks like now granted, you got the Clark Kent glasses thing going on, but
see. That's what I would thought of.
once he takes the glasses off, it's kind of like it should be pretty obvious that this is the minstrel. But then O'Hara says, "But he's on TV." Like, oh, come on. You guys, you know, should know that how TV works at this point.
Yes. After the fight is over, the minstrel produces a device that is sparking, but Batman tells the minstrel it will not work. Robin adds that they are wearing their particle bat accelerator units. Batman explains that it creates an anti-charge and reflects his static pulse.
Sure it is.
Plus, it looks like he's just holding a firework there and twirling it around. O'Hara arrests the minstrel. Back at Wayne Manor, Bruce and Dick are playing four-dimensional chess. Aunt Harriet turns on the news. The news announces that the minstrel's bail has been denied and he is on his way to jail. But they did not get an but they did get an exclusive interview. The minstrel sings one last song.
Here we go, dear.
Wait and
Me. Ready, sing it. Are
I
gonna
don't
bless us with your with your sweet dulcet tones.
wait until the jailbreak Batman, and you have not seen the last of me. I'll clobber you and Robin. Wait and see. You will vibrate both together. I will shake off your heads. Oh, you just wait until the jailbreak Batman. Then you will be dead. Aunt Harriet wants Bruce to talk to Commissioner Gordon about reforming the minstrel.
Yeah, because that what he just did there, what he just said, that was perfectly fine. That seemed like a guy who was ready to be rehabilitated. Um, yeah, she's totally swooning for him. And I wish they'd done more with that kind of concept that he was because I think Van Johnson could have pulled it off. I mean, he played the Pied Piper in a TV movie right before this. I think it was a TV movie, but and I think he even used like a similar outfit. And he's pretty charming in his own way. I mean, he did a lot of movies, and this is older Van Johnson, but he's like 50 or so. But I think I noticed, at least when I watched the second part of this, that he does deliver his lines like pretty flat. Like when he's singing about threatening um, the stockholders or the stockbrokers and the bankers and all that in Gotham, he should be. I mean, he doesn't need to be as manic as the Riddler, but he should be pretty excited and a little bit more over the top. But I think Van Johnson dials it back a bit too much too often here, and he comes across as kind of just flat. Even when, O'Hare arrests him, he just kind of walks out with him, and you kind of expect something to happen. Nothing does. Yeah, it's kind of flat. It's unfortunate because I think we're dealing with an interesting villain with massive power. Like I said, more power than we've ever seen from a Batman villain on this show. Um, so he's capable of doing a lot, and unfortunately, it doesn't play out in this two-parter, and I don't think we ever see him again. So I don't think it ever plays out. I know that the fans and this one is not regarded as a very great episode. I think it's one of those ones where if you like Van Johnson, you're going to like it a little bit better than some of the others. But if you don't like Van Johnson, then this is not going to do much for you. So I don't know, Drew. What did you think overall of the Minstrel and this two-parter?
I just thought he was an okay villain. This is not this is not one of the villains I'd be clamoring to see again.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. He just didn't seem like that exciting of a villain to me, even though he probably should have been, because, we have an end of the world at stakes here kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I think it kind of fell flat, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a music joke that you made there. And that's appropriate because, yeah, I think when it comes down to it, the minstrel just falls a little flat. Like it's a flat note that should have been played better, should have been written better. Um, but it's not as you said, it's not terrible. I would put this. We got a little bit of heat for our review, I think, of the Archer two-parter because we were just so kind of disappointed, I think, in the as especially as a premiere. And this one's kind of on that level as well. I would put it actually above the Archer. But I could see where, there's certainly issues there, and I think it might just be a personal preference. But I don't think it's all bad. There's still some fun moments, and we get some weird things happening in here. That scene with Gordon and O'Hara arguing in the police commissioner's office was just really bizarre and came out of nowhere and never was followed up with again. I don't think. I mean, we'll see, but um it's got some interesting things, but not yeah. I mean I like the fact that Batman sort of plays uh Octavia and then like she is like a woman scorned, but we don't see her do anything about it. Like we don't even see her at the end.
Nope.
She and the re she might get off scot-free as for all we know.
Yep, that's very true. One of the things did want to point out again is we saw the four-dimensional chess again.
We did.
So it's
Yeah.
it's popped up. I didn't realize it was so prevalent through the series. So now I'm curious if we'll see it again sometime.
I mean, maybe it's in the background, so we'll see. So yeah, not a lot more to add with this one, I don't think. It's fine. But yeah, I don't think anybody was really clamoring for the minstrel to come back. And I think we've had the minstrel now and the archer, and both of those are pretty much created for the show. I mean, I think we mentioned that the archer when we reviewed that, we mentioned that there was an Archer in the comics, but it wasn't quite the same. And so for all intents and purposes, these are villains that are created for the show, but right now, you can see that there's a big drop off between the ones that are adapted from the comics and the ones that are created for the show. And right now, I think, there's only a couple that were created for the show that really shine. And unfortunately, The Minstrel's not one of them.
Have to agree. All right. Well, that wraps up our episode for this week. Do you have a shout out, Mike?
I do. Since we're talking about music, musical villains, we had the pleasure of Drew and I both. We were invited to be on a music related podcast. Yes, we were invited to be on the fellow podcasters on the ESO network, Monkeying Around, which is all about the band The Monkees, which started as a that band started as a TV series in the Monkees in 1966, 1966, 1965. So there's the time frame is very similar to when Batmania was really happening in the show and everything. And the Monkees had a sort of recurring characters that they would instill that they would have on the show called the Monkey Men. And we were on the first episode of the first appearance of the Monkey Men, which was very brief, by the way. It wasn't like a full episode about the Monkey Men. It was really brief, but it was really fun. It was really fun to. That's a show that I had watched. I've watched a lot, and I've been a big fan of the Monkees. I've seen them live. I've got them, on my playlists at home and everything. So I am a Monkees fan. And so it was really nice to join. Uh, we've got Chuck and Veronica and Elizabeth, right? Like those are the three co-hosts there. They do a great job. They don't just talk about the show, they also talk about albums that the Monkees have done, music that the Monkees have done. They interview people who have worked with the Monkees. They have been around for a while now. I think they've produced over 60 episodes at this point, and they're sort of like it's sort of like Batman. There's no sense that they're ever gonna run out of material.
So take the last train to Clarksville and check it out.
Well said, Drew.
All right. And for my shout out, I'm going to shout out about the fast food restaurant Bat Burger. Just because we were trying to barbecue Batman and Robin in this episode.
Make you
That,
hungry?
yes, it made me hungry for a Bat Burger. No, Bat Burger was introduced in the comics in Batman Volume 3, number 16 in April 2017 by Tom King. But it originated in the Batman 66 series. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
So
We
I
haven't run
I'm
across that yet, have we?
we haven't run across it yet. So I'm not going to give any spoilers out because I'm excited about coming across it now
I'm
because
surprised it wasn't something that made Marion was eating, or made Marilyn was eating.
so I've seen Batburger in the comics several times since that episode premiere. Of course, we reviewed that issue on Earth Station DCU, but I didn't know it originated from the Batman 66 series. So that's interesting. And now I'm kind of excited to when we actually come across it.
What's the burger place that they always go to on the CW DC shows?
Oh,
Because that seems like they would have a Bat Burger on the menu, right? Because they're like
yes.
all the CW shows, Flash,
Yep.
Arrow,
Yep.
Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, all of them had, they would have a burger place that they went to, and I wish I could remember
Big
what
Belly
the
Burger.
Big Belly Burger. That's right.
I
Nice,
had to
very
think
good.
about that for a second.
So yeah, Big Belly Burger in the Arrowverse, yes. Um, I don't know is that if that was from the comics or not, but I was only really remembered them being in on those CW shows actually. I don't think I've seen him uh before that.
I can't remember if they're Big Belly Burgers in the comics either. That'd be interesting to keep an eye out for. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
Bat Burger's in there though in the comics, so
Well, that's a fun thing we'll have to look for is Batburger then. So we'll have to put
yep.
that on our radar of things to look for, as well as cameos.
All right. If you'd like to comment on anything we've talked about tonight, you can reach us at our feedback line, 317-455-8411. Leave us a message, text us, or you can email us at batchumspodcast@gmail.com. And I know our text is working because I sent a test to make sure it was still working.
Maybe we'll get a text in 2025.
Yeah, that isn't spam. All right, you ready to get out of here, Bat Chum?
Bad chums are ready to move out and get some Brat burgers.
Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Same Bat Burger time, same Bat Burger channel.
Don't worry, the fries are yet to come.